How y'all doing today? It's Jacob Reid, and today we're bringing you episode 9, part 9 of the Cincinnati Bengals Relocation franchise, where we're moving to Toronto. But today I wanted to offer you guys something a little bit different, where we're not necessarily going in and playing all these games, but what we're going to do is we're going to go in and we're going to simulate a couple weeks and manage the team, because we are 3-2, and we're going to manage the team up until, I forget what I titled this video, week 10, probably about week 10, which will be that Steelers game. So we'll sim through week 10 and give you guys a good idea of what's going to happen with everything. Now, in terms of choosing a name, you guys voted, and it was an even split between all of the different votes. I had a couple people say that we should remain the Bengals when we move. I had a couple people say the Huskies, a couple people say the Mounties, and a couple people say the Thunderbirds. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and go with the Huskies because that was my preference, because there was no clear winner on the vote between all those people. And like I said, we're going to do this a little bit different today, and I'm going to go ahead and sim through a couple weeks and give you guys a look at this team management wise through a couple weeks. This will be a little bit of a shorter episode, and then maybe the next video will be another gameplay episode, probably in that week after the Steelers matchup. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and advance the week and see if we beat the Buffalo Bills. We were 3-2. And we got a W, 28-24, as I expected, against the Buffalo Bills. So a nice win there. Not necessarily one that you guys needed to watch, because if I played them, I probably would have blown them out. Now, we do have a couple interesting things here. We got to go ahead and go through and scout and see what we're looking for. We had somebody win a weekly award, which is interesting. So let's take a look at that. Will Greer actually came up with a weekly award, AFC Offensive Player of the Week, with a 320 pass yard game, 4 touchdowns, 1 interception, sacked 4 times, and had 5 rushing yards. So a pretty good week there from the quarterback. Not necessarily the best offensive performance out of a quarterback to win an AFC Offensive Player of the Week, but definitely a solid performance. So we'll go ahead and certainly appreciate the fact that he was able to give us a good effort there. We'll go ahead and change our uniforms, or choose our uniforms. Sorry, I believe the Huskies have very nice uniforms here. I don't know what you guys think. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys think of these uniforms, but I'm personally a fan of them. I like the ones that have yellow, so I'm not going to go with these ones that have the popularity poll of 48%. I like the ones that have a little bit of yellow in them, which would be these ones or these ones. And honestly, it's kind of a toss-up between the two of them. I think I like the blue helmet, though, because that's a very unique color. Then again, I like the gray with the blue stripe. I think what I'm going to do is, for now, I'm going to go with these uniforms. They're all relatively the same, so I'm going to go ahead and roll with those. Give me a second to answer a text message, and I'll be back in a moment. All right, I'm going to go ahead and join this guy's party. I apologize. I'm going to go ahead and join this guy's party. It's Walking Visions, who also has a YouTube channel here. He's probably doing a road to the show thing on his, but it'll just be a second for me to join his franchise real quick. All right, joining the stream now is Walking Visions, or Walking Avenger, or Tyler, whatever you want to refer to him by. Go check out his channel right now. He's doing a lot of MLB gameplay. He's doing, I believe, a road to the show as a shortstop, if I'm not mistaken.
You're partially right. I'm currently playing right field.
Oh, they moved you.
Currently playing right field, which is not fun.
All right.
Because I got rid of the ball trail.
So we're going to go ahead and go in and perform our weekly tasks here and try and get this week done so we can get moving forward to the next week. We're going to go ahead and, as we've been doing, we're giving Will Greer all the XP we can, because we want to get him up to starting quarterback potential. And hopefully he'll have an upgrade after having player of the week, offensive player of the week there for the AFC against the Buffalo Bills with a good performance.
Anyways, I don't know if you read my text, but we're getting close to the OSFM release because they start with AL, and he's on the Padres roster right now. That was the last picture he uploaded.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. That means I should be done soon. We have lots of upgrades here on the team, which is good to see, which means we've been performing well. And this team should be kind of up to par by the time we actually get to Toronto. I'm really happy that they're getting done with the OSFM soon, because then that means we can start, or at least I can start streaming my franchise on that one. I still haven't decided what team I'm going to do. I want to do the Pirates, but I might just do that on my own and I might put out a poll and see what people want me to do.
I think you would have more fun doing your Pirates on your own, because then you're not, like, obviously you want to win, but you're not so, what's the word I'm looking for? You're not so in depth with trying to win because it's your favorite team.
True.
Or if you lose a couple, it's okay.
Right.
Like where I'm always trying to win the whole month of April. The whole month. I've lost 2 games last year, the whole month of April. And that's just ridiculous.
Alright, we have a couple contracts to negotiate here. I don't think there's anybody in particular that I want to negotiate with. We're waiting to see on Mark Barron whether he's going to regress when he hits 30. I do want to keep him around, but I don't want to offer him a 3-year deal. So I'm hoping that his demands go down once he regresses, and then we can keep him around for a long term. Nick Vigil, I do want to keep around, but I'm not going to offer him a 3-year, $7.8 million deal right now. I'll wait till the end of the season and then see what money we have left at that point and whether we really need to offer him a contract or not. Clint Bowling's definitely going to go down because he's 30 years old, so he'll probably drop below a 70. We probably won't be bringing him back unless we're desperate for a backup offensive lineman. With that being said, it's the 4-2 Bengals versus the 4-2 Browns in the division here, competing for second place behind the undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's see if our team can manage to pull out a win after a nice offensive performance by Will Grier. Let's see if our team slumps after having that nice win. So we'll go ahead and advance to the next week. We should get a win against the Dolphins. That's my expectation. We managed to get a win over the Cleveland Browns, 31-21, and Will Grier had a second back-to-back AFC Offensive Player of the Week performance. 269 yards, 4 passing touchdowns.
Oh, did you sim it?
Yeah, we're doing something a little bit different today. We're simming forward a couple games just to give everybody a little bit of a different kind of view into the franchise, just to mix it up. Will Grier, back-to-back AFC Offensive Player of the Week. That's what I like to see. Now, we're moving to Toronto. It's going to be snowy, so we can play into the elements, but it's always snowy up there. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go with some type of... I could go... Most of them are outdoors, and I really don't want to go with like a dome or anything because the seating is so limited. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to go with the Deluxe Futuristic. Just why not go big? First Canadian... True Canadian American football team. I don't even know how to word that. They're going to go big. They're going to do it up big. It's going to be drawing huge crowds. So we'll go with the big stadium. And then we have one more negotiation to go through here. It looks like it'll be... Oh, no, we don't. This is... Clayton... I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce his last name. He's 26. He's asking for a low money deal. I do actually want to bring him back because I like him. We're going to go 4 years and take the money down on his and hope that he accepts it. Yes, I do like him as a backup safety. He's played pretty well for us so far this season. And coming off back-to-back strong wins, I feel like we should be able to, especially now that the Steelers got their first loss, they're down to 5-1. We should be able to make a run at this division. It's going to be tough later on in the season because we have the Steelers two games, Week 10 and Week 12. Those are going to be tough for sure. I don't see us winning those, but we should get a win against the Dolphins going into a bye week, which is a nice way to propel ourselves to at least give ourselves a shot at the playoffs here in year one. So we'll go ahead and scout one more time. I'm looking at linebackers because we had traded away some of our linebacking talent because they didn't fit what we were trying to do. So I'm certainly going to try and look at some of the linebackers in this draft. But I'm also going to look heavily at offensive line. I think that that's one of the big areas where we still need to improve. We still need to build around Will Grier for him to be successful. Are you planning on streaming anything today? I don't know if Walking Vendor's here. All right, we'll go ahead and advance. We should be able to beat the 1-5 Dolphins. I'll be a little disappointed if this team can't come up with a win against the Dolphins. We lost 20-17. That's a tough loss going into the bye week against the Dolphins, but that's all right. We have a media question here to answer, and then we'll be able to advance pretty quickly this time. At the midway point, your team's in a good spot. How far do you think this team can go? I'm definitely not predicting that this is going to be a Super Bowl team. I think that this is a dangerous team. Or I think it's dangerous to start looking ahead. So right now these guys need to just worry about winning each week, or you just want to be in a position to win a Super Bowl, and of course, for that to happen, you need to make playoffs, and I know we can get there. I think that we're a playoff caliber team right now. I don't think we're even close to a Super Bowl caliber team, but the way this team has been playing, I think Will Grier puts us in a position to at least have a shot at the playoffs, which is important. We'll go ahead and give Jesse Bates a nice upgrade. Obviously, the overall captain of the defense now really starting to come into his own on the defensive side of the ball. And Gerard Davis with an upgrade. And then we have a little bit of scouting and a little bit of training, and we're on to the week against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, like I said, we're going to scout offensive linemen. If you want to scout effectively and get the most coverage, try this out where you scout the first trait on every single player. And then you'll at least know based off the first trait whether they're good or not. And that's pretty important because then you'll have good coverage over most of the draft class. So certainly do your best to try and scout as many people as possible, because when you get into the later rounds and you don't know who's what, it just becomes a guessing game based off of combine grades, and you don't necessarily want that. You want to be as informed as possible.
Well, almost got our first home run. Sorry about that. I wanted you to stop. I wanted to wait till you were done talking because
you're good. Are you stream? You gonna go ahead and stream anything today? I was just inquiring.
It didn't save my changes to my road to the show, so I have to fix my guy.
Oh, really? Yeah, you probably have to make the changes and then play a game for it to autosave. I don't think there's an actual save feature.
Because I gave in to pimping my guy out because I got some things unlocked from last year.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to try and re-sign Brian Allen just yet. We brought him in as kind of a depth guy. Big body, but I don't think we're going to do anything with him right now. Now, I think this is where we're going to end the video today. I want to bring you guys in for this key matchup against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Obviously, they're coming off a couple losses in a row because we're tied at 5-3. We're ahead of the division right now. 5-3, tied at 5-3 with the Steelers up at the top. This win or loss determines who's in charge of the division at the moment. So I want to bring you guys in for this crucial game here. But I think that we can go ahead and just look through and see where everybody's at here. So all these guys we determined we're not going to negotiate with just yet. I don't mind the idea of having Jeff Driscoll, but we might draft another backup quarterback just as an alternate option to Jeff Driscoll. It's kind of up in the air, so I'm not going to negotiate with any of those guys right now. Scouting-wise, I'm just going to keep going down the same path that I have, where I'm doing my best to scout all the offensive linemen I possibly can, because obviously the O-line has been a little bit rough for us. Will Grier's been sacked quite a bit this year, and that's one of our key areas. We need to improve his protection if we want him to develop the way that we expect him to. And you can't expect a guy to develop just throwing him out there and hoping for the best behind a patchwork offensive line. So we're going to do our best to try and build through the draft this year and build through free agency. So I'm definitely looking for your guys' feedback on, who you think we should be targeting once we actually get to that point. So definitely leave your feedback down below. We'll go ahead and finish up the training, and then what we'll do is we'll take a look at the standings and the stats real quick and just give you guys an idea of where we're at. Now that we're in kind of crunch time at the end of the season, these games are going to be more intense, more exciting, especially since we've put ourselves in a position to actually have a shot at playoffs and maybe even the division at that. We're performing well above where I thought we would be performing for this team. Honestly, I think that Will Grier is just carrying this team much further than I thought that he would be able to in his rookie season. So I'm kind of proud of him as our future at quarterback. He's doing something that Andy Dalton hasn't necessarily been able to do yet. All right, so stats-wise, let's go ahead and just take a quick look at the team and see where everybody is at. Obviously, Will Grier, low in passing yardage because he didn't start right away. Andy Dalton got a couple starts, but 1,000 yards with 9 touchdowns versus 4 interceptions. So that's a pretty solid performance out of him. 64% completion. And then where's his rating? 97.7. So he's up there at the top with where the rest of the quarterbacks would be, getting close to 100 quarterback rating. So that's very good for a rookie. And I only expect him to get better. Joe Mixon with 546 rushing yards on the season. I expect that to increase. We need to get him over 1,000 yards for sure to make sure that he progresses, but still having a pretty successful season with 4.7 yards per carry and 5 touchdowns. Receiving wise, no clear, main leading receiver. That's maybe what the problem is. Our receivers have kind of let us down so far this season. We have spread the ball around nice, between all these guys. There's 4 different receivers with 200-plus yards, so that's nice. But we need somebody to really emerge as a top receiving threat. Tyler Boyd, A.J. Green, Uzomah, and Deebo Samuel, all with kind of subpar numbers, and John Ross not really into the mix quite as much as we need him to be. So we're going to have to change some things around there, and I might look at shifting around the depth chart just to see if we can get some offense going, especially against the Pittsburgh Steelers. But this is what I like to see here on the defensive side of the ball. The 2 people at the top of our defense, Jesse Bates, obviously the leader on this defense, but Mark Barron, the massive free agent pickup for us. Somebody that I didn't expect to have this big of an impact, but I really like to fit into our scheme the way that we're playing with the zone. 38 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, and an interception return for a touchdown. A couple pass deflections. Forced fumbles, just a guy that's playing phenomenally well for us. So certainly looking to bring him back, just waiting on the contract to bring him back later at the end of the season. And then kicking wise, Cole Tracy has improved. He's up to 8 for 11. I think we brought in a kicker to maybe try and replace him, but I just decided against it because Cole Tracy's a rookie. We got to give him time to get his legs under him, and he hasn't been necessarily costing us games to this point. I think he cost us 1 game. Not that big of a deal, especially considering we weren't aiming to win this season. So I'm not going to fire him right away. I'm going to stick with him and hope that he improves as a kicker. And that's pretty much all there is to the team right now. No kick returns for touchdowns, no punt returns for touchdowns or anything like that. So that's kind of where we stand. We need to get those offensive numbers up. We need to get the offense moving. And then I think that we'll really start to develop Will Grier and Joe Mixon the way that we need to. But it's going to be tough these next couple games against the Steelers twice, Patriots, and also the Baltimore Ravens I can see up there at the top. So come back around for those videos. I hope you guys stick around. Leave a like on this video if you thought that this was interesting or you liked it at all. Let me know if you want to see videos like this again or if you want to see more gameplay, whatever it is, let me know down in the comment section below. And if you're new here, subscribe to the channel and stick around for any other videos. I'll see you guys in the next one.